Coming to you from sunny California and the Great White North. Get ready. We are breaking down the obstacles on the Armchair Ninja Podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Armchair Ninja Podcast. It is Friday, September 20th, 2019. My name is Rich, and joining me to cover the ANW11 Vegas finale is Bijan. How you making out?
We have an American Ninja Warrior, man! It finally happened! So excited. Congratulations, Drew Drechsel. We're going to be talking about that in a minute. But first, bro, we got to talk about it. Rich is a grandfather! Oh my gosh! Congratulations!
Thank you. I am now officially old as dirt.
Yeah, you're old, bro.
Oh my God. Yes, my daughter had a little boy, and now I have a grandson. It's been a crazy week between all this ANW excitement and the excitement in the family. It's been a good week. It's hard to complain.
I'm very, very happy for your family in general and your new grandson. I mean, he seems like he's healthy. Everyone go out to Rich's Instagram if you want to see really, really cute photo of him and the baby. And yeah, just in general, really happy for everyone.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes, he's very happy and healthy, as is my daughter and the whole family. Yeah, I'm not going to flood my Instagram with pictures of him, but for those of you who have me on Facebook, you definitely will see pictures. But yeah, getting into the episode, let's switch over to the episode, and because there's a lot to cover.
Champ is here. That's right. I don't care what the rules are for ANW Fantasy. Drew Drechsel was on my fantasy league. He won. Champ is here.
Wow, that's an amazing prediction, Bijan. How did you ever decide that Drew Drechsel would be the guy to bring it down?
You know, all I can say is I'm Nostradamus, man. I see these things.
You know what's really funny is, actually, I can let you in on the joke now. A few weeks back, do you remember me saying that they did a big spoiler?
Oh, yeah. So what was up with that?
They said there was a winner.
Really?
They announced that there would be a winner this season. And then last week you were saying, you know what? Do you think there's going to be a winner this year, Rich? What do you think? I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction that there's going to be a winner this year.
Wow.
Yeah, they outright told
guys,
us.
Literally, I did not hear that. So that was just me being me. Wow. I had no idea. When did they announce this?
Weeks ago. Like when I did so yeah, I think it was still stage one. Matt Eisman was on People or to Hawken in an interview and said that there was going to be a winner. So they put it on ANW Nation and everything else saying, yes, this season there will be a winner.
Yeah. I mean, I get why they would do that, though. Really, it's a television show, it's about ratings, and the best way to get ratings is going into the finale. There is a winner, there is a payoff, something major is going to happen. Be sure to watch out for that. I understand it. I am also very, very, very glad that I did not hear that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you can imagine how thrilled I was to hear it, so.
Yeah. Hey, but they didn't say who it was, so for you, I'm sure you're still just, intrigued by that, right?
Sure. I wasn't overthinking everything at all. It didn't really play into... So would they tell us if there was a winner, if there was only one person going to stage 4? Because then we automatically know. Oh, so I guess we're probably going to have at least 2 people. That seems pretty fair. I don't think they would go that far, but at this point, I wouldn't put it past them.
Wow, that's actually a really good point. I never thought about that, I guess, because I didn't need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I figured there would be a second person, going to stage 4, simply because, I mean, Drew Drechsel completed stage 4 pretty early on in the episode, and I was really, really happy they did that, It kept things on your toes. Hey, anybody can make it. Maybe we'll have 3, maybe we'll have 4. I mean, I really appreciate the fact, even if Drew Drechsel were be the only one to complete stage 3, a part of me really appreciates the fact that it was earlier rather than the last run. That said, man, there were definitely the major ninjas that I was keeping an eye out for. I'm like, who else is going to race, Drew Drechsel up on that? But, yeah, there's something we really need to talk about. But what are your thoughts? In general, actually, I feel like we should take some time to talk about Drew Drechsel, the 3rd ever American Ninja Warrior. This is really, really big. And of course, we'll get into the minutia of his run and everything later. but just overall encapsulating it. If there was ever a Ninja Warrior that quote unquote deserves this title, and has fought so hard for this, it would be Drew Drechsel. And yeah, it was really, really emotional. Did you feel the same, Rich? Like I was really choked up and just so genuinely happy for this dude. Like the emotion was written all over his face, but like, damn, man, like they went into like his crazy training schedule and preparation. But not only that, he travels the world. He's not only gone to like Sasuke in Japan a few times, like he's a staple there, you know, like he represents America in the Japanese version of Ninja Warrior year after year, and continuously is like either one of the last men standing or the last man standing. And yeah, the fact that he is the new American Ninja Warrior, that's amazing. Kind of in general encapsulates his legacy.
Yeah, I always go back to Jeff Britton saying about him, you know, I'm surprised Drew doesn't win every year. And it really has felt like that way for a few years now, where it's like any given year he's going to do it. And it is nice to see it all come together in the end. I think the most emotional moment for me, to be honest, strangely enough, was when he beat Kane Lane. Like, that's where it peaked for me. Because as soon as he did that, I knew he could do flying bar. He could probably do it blindfolded. And he seemed to have lots of energy left. So I thought, that's it. He's taking the rest of it down. I just didn't have any question that if anyone had practiced that rope climb like for years, it's him. You know, he's got everything he needs. He got past all the trickiest stuff. He can do those two last things.
Yeah, similar for me when he hit the buzzer on stage 3. That was emotional for me because I guess like you, I just assume he can do stage 4 in his sleep. Because, once again, the American Ninja Warrior version of Stage 4 is a freaking joke. It is an absolute joke. It is just a rope climb. Why? It is so boring to look at. Yeah, now we finally have somebody that hasn't completed Stage 4, but going in before Daniel Gill went on that course. Rich, has anybody ever failed Stage 4 in American Ninja Warrior history? Like, maybe somebody has, but I can't think of them. Like
no, well, we've only had the 4 actually attempted on the regular season.
Yeah, because
in the USA versus the World and stuff, though, they haven't beaten the time.
Yeah,
like, the time is pretty tight.
Who cares about that? What I'm saying is, if you complete stage 3, you can do stage 4. I feel. Now Daniel Gill is the outlier on it, and finally he's shown that somebody can actually fail stage 4. But to this day, they need to mirror. They don't actually have to like parody or mirror like, you know, Sasuke in Japan or anything, but just do something. Change it up somewhat. It doesn't have to be like 4 or 5 different like machinations of like different things. Just do something. Make it a 2-part different obstacle. But just a rope climb, I hate it. But whatever about that. For me, I felt like Drew Drechsel can do that in his sleep, and I was so happy for him. When he hit the buzzer on stage 3, to me, he just hit the buzzer to win $1 million, and I was so happy for him.
Yeah, and I have to say, so my wife watched the end of it with me, and when she saw the rope climb, and he hit the buzzer, and she said, "That's it. That's the end of the course. Like the other part was harder." I started laughing. I said, Bijan would be thrilled to hear you say that. He hates the rope climb, rants about it all the time. She said, it's like the shootout in hockey. And he's not going to understand that, but I will definitely relay that. It is. It's very much like people rant about in hockey. You know, you have a full game, all this back and forth. And when it's a tie in the end, they just take turns making a shot. And it's been a sore point for Canadians for years. And it was a very apt comparison, I thought.
I mean, same for soccer, where you know, which is my thing. And yeah, it's apt and it's annoying. It's very anticlimactic. But let's not be poo-poo the structure of American. Actually, I'm about to really go hard on American Ninja Warrior. But and I'm guessing you guys know where I'm going with that. But
yeah, I'm gonna guess it's at a minute ago you said, when you saw him hit the buzzer on stage 3, you knew he was going to win $1 million. Is that the part you mean?
Anyways, I'm very, very happy for Drew, though. I just want to encapsulate that once again. This was huge. It was very emotional for me. I'm sure everyone there. And this is history. And I feel like this is going to do wonders for American Ninja Warrior, but also the competitors. Like, lights a spark under them again. And I don't mean like they didn't have a spark. I don't want to be like, take it the wrong way. But I'm just saying, seeing somebody actually hit the buzzer sometimes, or just excel when something just seems so daunting. Finally, it's like, this can be done. All right, like, and it just like sparks a new fire under some people. So I really hope that happens for a lot of the ninjas. Not saying they didn't have it before, but I'm just saying it might help.
Yeah, the only thing that takes away from it for me, well, it's not the only thing, but the last time this happened, I really expected a huge revamp of the course, like, because I had heard about the revamps in Sasuke, where, you know, once there's a winner, they kind of redesign the course to counteract the winner. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? Like, they try to completely screw them up so they can't do it back to back. It's a big thing to try to do it back to back. But they didn't do that in season 9 or season 8. They really didn't revamp the course majorly, or at least I didn't feel like they had. It was very similar. They've thrown more curves at us in more recent years, but
I think season 9.
I want to see them really.
Sorry to interrupt. I'm just saying season 9, I feel like, is where they really changed things up. So maybe they just took a year.
Yeah. Could be. But the thing is, I stopped to think, like, what do you put in front of Drew? There's nothing. He is so well-rounded. It's not like you can say, well, he's a climber. We need to really focus on lower body, or he's this, he's that. He's everything. He is, like, built for ninja.
Mm-hmm. Except Vertical Limit. I feel like that's the one. If you guys watch Sasuke, that's the one that's his Achilles heel on that one. That said, do not bring Vertical Limit to American Ninja Warrior, because that's going to be bad times for everyone.
Heck yeah.
Because
yes,
the American athletes are also,
I think that would be
like,
great.
Heavier and bigger in general. I don't want to, people are different, but in general, heavier and bigger than the Japanese competitors. So Vertical Limit's going to be bad times in America. And for people that don't know that, basically Vertical Limit is like, how would you describe that? Basically, like pinching with the tips of your fingers on like a hanging, kind of like a hanging cliffhanger for a large period of time, and just basically squeezing with your fingertips. It seems like the hardest.
Take all the holds off of Ultimate Cliffhanger and then make them go along the bottom.
Yeah, that's yeah. Oh man, that thing's brutal. But hey, somebody's done it, so it's doable. Yeah, so let's get into what I really want to talk about. Sorry, we're not getting into the runs yet, guys. Skip ahead another 5 minutes if you want to get into the runs, because I'm about to go ham. Oh, man, how did this happen again? We had 2 finalists on stage 4, and once again, they brought back that rule where they have to compete against each other, which is completely against the spirit of American Ninja Warrior, where it's competitors versus a course, and everybody's in it together. Now, all of a sudden, they have to compete against each other for $1 million? Where the heck did this come from? Rich, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like a few years ago, after all of the pushback with the Jeff Britton and Isaac Caldeiro thing, they made I forget if it was either the 2 competitors, if they both win, they split the pot for $1 million, or they each get $1 million. I'm guessing they split the pot, but I'm pretty damn sure that was a thing, right?
It was a thing. It was definitely a thing. I'm pretty sure we had Matt Eisman on our show say it outright.
So what the heck happened?
Someone up above said, no. There needs to be a winner. We need a face. There needs to be one person. We can't have 2 winners. There has to be one, and it has to be $1 million. That is key in whatever demographic. People don't understand. Splitting a prize, multiple winners, that's like everybody gets a ribbon, millennial crap. No, we don't want that. We want one winner, winner take all. This is America.
Show me that person so I can backhand them. And I don't mean to be violent, but that gets me frustrated. Shame, shame, shame. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That's so dumb. And the reason, and I feel like I'm talking about the same thing that I talked about 3 years ago. Bear with me, but for new listeners, the spirit of American Ninja Warrior. You go to a gym, you go to any competition, you go to the show. It is everybody in it as a family. It's everyone, like all the competitors versus a course, and you see that. You see that on the spirit of the show all the time. That, everybody's giving ideas. Everybody's trying to figure out this puzzle together. Because there is none of that feeling of, oh, I have to beat this person. It's never like that. You don't ever want a situation where one of the competitors is wishing the other person to do poorly. It's terrible. And yeah, that's great in other sports, but that's just not American Ninja Warrior. And I really don't want to be that person where I was like, I'm a diehard and that's not my way. But I'm sorry. It's just not how the spirit of the show is and has ever been. And it really handicaps just a really feel-good moment that could be at the end. Think about if Daniel Gill, completed the course. One of those two are getting screwed out of $1 million. And really, when we've seen what's happened to Jeff Britton over these past few years, really not getting any of the praise that they deserve. Jeff Britton is the first American Ninja Warrior. He hit that buzzer. He did everything Isaac Caldiero did. Isaac Caldiero just did a few seconds quicker. That doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. He hit that buzzer. Now, if Daniel Gill would have done the same thing but did in 1 second left, Daniel Gill, is he just going to be shunned to the side and just everybody being like, oh, that never happened, he's not an American Ninja Warrior? No. It's completely against the spirit of the show. I'm sorry, Rich. You give me your thoughts.
I mean, we've covered this before. It almost feels so redundant to do now, but like you said, maybe there's people that haven't heard us rant about this before, and I don't want to take up the whole episode doing it. Everything you said is right. It is against the spirit of the show. I get it, and Matt defended it. It was the first time I had him on the podcast. He defended it saying there's always been competition on the show. There's competition to be in the top 15, the top 30. Yes, there is. But if you beat the obstacles, you get the prize. You move on to the next stage. You move on to Vegas, right? If you don't finish city finals and then go, sorry, we are only taking, I would be surprised if they would do it. If they had more than 12 finishers this season, would they say, sorry, yeah, you did finish the course, but you were 13th, so... Oh, geez, I hate to even think of that. I shouldn't even say that out loud.
It might happen, and you're going to see a whole nother rant from me if that happens. Because at the end of the day, you did what was asked of you.
Yes. Beating the course is the goal. And beating the rope climb in under 30 seconds is the goal. If you do that, you deserve a portion of money. I wouldn't even care if it was a 50-50 split. To me, that would be the solution. You want to make it more quote-unquote fair? Then you say the person who takes it, if there's more than one finisher, the first place person gets 3/4 of the pot or whatever, like a certain larger percentage of the pot. Mm-hmm. That's fine. That I get. But to make it an all or nothing deal, first across the finish line wins, awful. It just sucks out of the fun of the whole thing. Like, I was so excited for Drew, and I was watching Daniel going through the course, and I knew he was going to, just because, like I said, reading into the fact that I figured they wouldn't announce it if it was just going to be Drew climbing. I didn't even want Daniel to finish. I'm like, I don't want to see this again. I can't deal with this again. Daniel's perfectly capable of doing this rope climb, and only one of them's going to win. I don't want to. I was so angry, and I was so happy. And I felt bad for being happy when Daniel wasn't able to do it. I was like, that was the only thing that would save it for me.
Imagine how Drew Drechsel felt.
And that's not how I want to watch a finale.
Yeah, but imagine how Drew Drechsel felt, man.
I know. Well, they seemed pretty good, right? Overall, they seemed pretty good. The spirit of it seemed intact. And I've heard that it was fine for the other one, too. But the edit in this, everything, it didn't feel like a downer.
No, it wasn't.
I'm hoping it wasn't, and I hope they were able to enjoy it and celebrate together with no hard feelings. But Daniel missing is the best thing that could have happened, because then he doesn't feel bad. Drew doesn't feel bad. Nobody feels bad. It's like, all right, Daniel wasn't quite able to do it. Drew, you get all the money. No questions asked.
Yeah, and I don't want to belabor, the point and be negative for like 10 minutes, but I just want to say, please, producers, everybody, just change this ruling, because you don't ever want something to just controversy again, like scarring and, really putting a sour taste in what can be really beautiful. It almost happened again, and I'm really happy it didn't. Good news is Daniel Gill's a really happy-go-lucky guy. He's got a good head on his shoulders, very positive attitude. He just seemed ecstatic for Drew. And I'm really happy for Drew in that. Yeah, I mean, Daniel Gill made himself a star. I mean, he's already been a star, but you know what I mean by that, even higher. And Drew Drechsel, what can you say? He's the man.
All right, we jumped way to the end for this, but let's actually get into these runs in this course. So, rewinding it all the way back here, we've got the grip and tip, which is basically 2 battering rams back to back.
I like it.
That tilts on the axis. Yeah, that was kind of good. Iron Summit, which is a cross between Iron Maiden and Northwest Passage. Very good.
Yeah, that's a tough one, and I like its positioning. Perfect.
Crazy Clocks, which is a solid obstacle.
Yeah, Whirly didn't play a part in this course, but, I mean, that's fine. I don't really mind it.
Yeah, it's suitably difficult for where it's at. It's basically, you want to just feed everyone into the ultimate cliffhanger for all the failures you're going to get there.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimate Cliffhanger is always good to watch. After that, we had Pipe Dream, which was, I don't know about this obstacle. I was really iffy on it at first. It did seem a lot tougher than I gave it credit for once I saw some people attempting it. What did you think of it?
It's tough. It reminds me a lot of I forget, like Ultimate Beastmaster had like an optional like obstacle that was pretty much like this, like hanging poles where you got to transition between them, and they like, you know, they're very thin, and if I remember correctly, like nobody even completed that thing in Ultimate Beastmaster. So because of that, I remember like this is a lot tougher than it looks, and yeah, it seemed to be very tricky for these ninjas, where it's one of these things where it looks like not difficult but doable, and then you see everybody on it, and they're like, I have no idea what's going on. This is way harder than I thought it was going to be. I like it. Also, it uses different type of technique and muscle groups that aren't used traditionally on this course.
Yeah, it was very similar to Pole Grasper too, right? Which we've seen lots of times. Even in Casey's, big run in the city finals, she had to do that. But this one was, the way it was laid out and the way that it behaved made it quite a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Cane Lane, I really like. I was glad to see multiple people attempting it. I'm glad to see it come back.
Oh, I love that obstacle. So tough, and it's in the perfect place for the course. Yeah, I love it.
And the classic Flying Bar, which I hope they never take out of there. I think that's a good fixture. It's good. I don't feel the same like strong as you, man. You're like, never take it away, but it's good. To me, it's like the warped wall. Watching someone hop down that, it's such a long, grueling, finicky process that can easily go wrong. I just feel like it's a great way to come off of that thing. It's suitably difficult and timed in a way that like they can't slow down. They've got to do it perfectly. I just think it's a really good way to cap off stage 3.
Yeah, I appreciate. Yeah. I don't have much to say, but I get it.
Let's get into some runs. We're like 20 minutes into this episode, and we haven't even talked about a single run yet. This is crazy. So, first on the course, we have Ryan Stratis, and my heart sunk.
Yeah,
first, Ryan, man. No.
Ryan's the man, dude. But you know what? For me, I was just so excited and happy for him to be on that course. Once again, it's one of those things where somebody like him, it's probably a major moment in his life.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of the ones we looked most forward to seeing on Stage 3. They showed footage of him on Stage 3 in Season 3 in Japan, where he went on the Ultimate Cliffhanger, so the question was, can he do it this time? But unfortunately, he fell on the backside of the Iron Summit. He just reached with the wrong hand as he was descending.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. It kind of brought to attention how difficult the Iron Summit is. As like, oh, let's not overlook these obstacles before the cliffhanger.
After him, we had Michael Torres, and weirdly enough, his segment was really a Ethan Swanson segment, which confused me because as soon as he credited Ethan Swanson for bringing top talent to Chicago, it kind of became all about that in Ultimate Ninjas, which was very notable this season. Like, there was no missing it. Like, Wolfpack, is a memory at this point. They've not focused on the show. They've even not been on the show for a little while. This Chicago crew needs a nickname. I guess they could call them Windy City Ninjas or something, but they need something better.
Yeah, please don't do Windy City Ninjas. But yeah, it's a good point. At first I was like, what is this? But like you said, it really brought to attention the fact that, hey, there's like a major movement happening in the Chicago area in terms of ninjas. I remember a few years ago, I think it was Austin, also had like a major movement with Casey Catanzaro and a few ninjas over there. But yeah, I mean, this is really cool, and I appreciate the fact that it highlights all of them and their rise.
So him on the course, he was doing great. He struggled a bit to beat the Iron Summit, but he did get through and managed the climb of the ultimate cliffhanger and the transition across, but was grimacing as he fell short on the dismount. Wasn't quite able to do it.
Yeah, if anything, I'm really keeping an eye out for everybody that was able to complete the ultimate cliffhanger, because that's huge. And when you get past the ultimate, ultimate cliffhanger is such a ninja killer. So if you have the capabilities of getting through that obstacle, really you just have to, I mean, I don't want to overlook the rest of the obstacles and saying like the rest is golden, but like you have the chance to really focus on obstacles in the back portion of stage 3 that very few people have been able to even try.
Yeah, it's such a weird episode, right? We had so many ninjas that we've never seen here.
It was nice, man.
It's usually such a short little segment. As much as we complained about how many people got through stage 2, it was really exciting to start into this episode and go, we're going to see 21 people attempt this course. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, not only that, it was refreshing to see new faces with different like backgrounds and talents try this. And a lot of them were very surprising to me.
Yeah. We had a fast forward next of Chris Digangi, who went out on the transition of the cliffhanger.
You know what? For once, I'm going to say Chris Digangi. Props to you. And I say that simply because he really, really was impressive. He earned having his name said once on this podcast because, yeah, like, props to him. Like, he got really, really far into stage 3. This was probably a major, major year for him. And, yeah, I'm really happy for him. And, you're getting married to Flex Lebrecq, so congratulations, Flex Lebrecq's fiance.
Yes.
You only get one, buddy.
So
enjoy it while it lasted.
Yes. So that meant Michael Torres went out there, Chris Digangi went out there, and then we see Ethan Swanson take the course, who they very much hyped this season. I was very appreciative of, and it made me really hyped to see how far he would go. He had no problems on the cliffhanger until he ended up slipping on the dismount. I really thought he had that. Like, he was looking so solid to that point.
Yeah, he was one of the people where I was kind of like, I could see him beating this course because he was so hyped. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, I'm really happy he got that limelight. Yeah, it was pretty shocking how, like, where he fell, but I'm really happy for him. And, dude, I could see this guy. He's kind of, like, he doesn't, correct me if I'm wrong, Rich, he doesn't, like, have, like, a professional background in, like, gymnastics or rock climbing, right?
I'm not actually sure of his background. My guess would be gymnastics, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I just know he does crazy stuff like jumping off roofs and all that. But man, like this guy is so athletically talented, so I can really see him like being big in the next 2 years. Kind of like Daniel Gill's like rise. If you really look back to like his first year, he was like crazy good, and everybody's like, "Where's this guy come from?" And like he's been solid ever since. And now he's completing stage 3. So, hey, Ethan Swanson could be another one.
All right. Next up, we had a fast forward of Hunter. It bears mentioning, we're fast forwarding stage 3 runs at this point. It is nuts.
Yeah.
And I felt so bad for the ninjas that really got it bad this year. Like Hunter Gerard, he got some focus on when he ran the power tower, but other than that, he's been pretty ignored. He ended up going out on that same cliffhanger dismount, unfortunately.
Yeah, it sucks. But, I mean, well, continue. I'll talk about somebody else later.
Sure. Lucas Reale was next on the course. Ninjas of Therapy for him, if you remember, he had the segment with David Kavanaugh. He almost dropped a handle on Iron Summit, but was able to catch it, thankfully. Manages the dismount of the cliffhanger and had this crazy slide down the first bowl of Pipe Dream and barely caught it. Tries to swing himself up to the bigger pipes, but he fell. His grip just gave out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been sleeping on Reale because, like, damn, he went really far on this course. And I, like, the whole time I'm like, okay, whoa. Like, I was just shocked, like, how well this guy was doing. And, yeah, like, when you think Lucas Reale, like, you can see him going to Vegas finals, but I mean, shame on me. I did not see him getting this far, and I was really, really happy for him. So I'm going to have to keep an eye out more on him next year. Shame on me.
Yeah, he's no joke, for sure. But after him, we had Joe Moravsky. He has more experience than anyone on Stage 3. I'm very happy to see that they gave him that credit. Because this is his 5th time there. He missed 2 years. He missed season 9, or 8 and 10? No. I think that's right. He did 5, 6, and 7. Missed 8 because he fell on the wing nuts in Stage 2, I believe.
Yeah, 9 he was last man standing. And then 10 he fell on the double dipper.
So yeah, Joe's fantastic. He was he was right on everybody's list to be one of the ones to win this. I was kind of nervous watching him on Iron Summit, but he had no issues and no problems with the cliffhanger. But ends up tearing his hand, and it's like, oh no, not something like this. This is not what you want to see.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I could see him easily. I mean, he got to the final portion of Cane Lane. It was just the wrong dismount or wrong landing. Yeah, man, Joe. Maybe next year will be Joe's year, but I could easily have seen him competing against Drew Drechsel in Stage 4. Which really would have made me angry with the new rolling, but
more on there, more chance for them to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I feel if anything, how well everyone did in Stage 3, even like in losing, like how far they went, it's kind of motivates everyone. I feel.
Yeah, and like you said, having a winner reminds everyone that it's possible, right? It's been a few years. They are reminded that this course is beatable.
Yeah.
We had a fast forward of RJ Roman next, who went out at the top of Iron Summit. And I gotta say, RJ is a shoo-in. He is definitely a strong contender for the
Most Invisible?
Stealthiest Ninja Award.
Yeah, man. Like, he was a major story last year, and this year, nothing.
Yeah, there's a few of them, and I'll try to shout out a few of them here. And what we're talking about, for those that aren't aware, it's Stage 5 Ninja Awards. There is an award for the ninja who gets fast-forwarded or skipped the most. And, yeah, there's a couple of contenders this season.
Yeah, Rich, for the new listeners, what is the Stage 5 Ninja Awards?
So, at the end of every season, for the last couple of years, we pool together with other ANW content creators. So, and we have a podcast with Taryn Armstrong and Lita Gran from what do they call it? Reality TV Wrap-Ups. Their ANW podcast, and they join us, and we get a poll of other YouTube channels and websites and others to help us decide who is the male ninja of the year, female ninja of the year, ninja killer of the year, all the categories we could think of.
Mm-hmm. Definitely good ones, hard choices. ANW Fantasy also joins us, and yeah, it's going to be good times.
And this is where I actually have to say that Travis from ANW Fantasy will not be joining us this year, unfortunately.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
So yes, please tune in for that. We will be next week. Bijan and I will have an episode announcing all the categories and nominees, and then the following week we will have an episode with Taryn and Lita.
Yeah.
And I just realized I called Lita. It's Lita Brillman. It's actually not Lita. I was thinking of her Instagram as Lita Grammed. Next up on the course is the man, the legend himself, Drew Drechsel, with a big segment with lots of hype.
Oh, yeah. Like, it never ended. I was like, oh, if this dude doesn't make it, I don't know what to say. Like, they are hyping this dude up to the end.
Yeah, they've been doing it all season. Well-deserved, obviously, and glad to see that it actually did pay off in the end. One thing that was of note, or at least I swear I could not see earbuds this time. And I feel like you could feel a different energy from him this season. Like in the past, he put his earbuds on. He was all business. Now it's like he was trying to hype them up. He's like, hey, like let's get some noise going. And he seemed to be really into doing this stage 3 run, which I thought was great.
Yeah, in somewhat it makes him more likable, and I don't mean that like he wasn't likable before, but just makes you connect more with him rather than just seeing somebody so focused. Like kind of watching the Olympics, and and somebody's like super hyper focused, and then there's the people that are just happy and enjoying it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was so invested in this run because I just knew he's kind of like the bar, like he's the one that can really say like, oh, this is doable. And of course there's other ninjas that are equally as good as him, but his accolades speak for themselves, and yeah, just going into it, I was hyped, bro.
Yeah, there's not much to say about his run. He was able to beat the cliffhanger this time around, made it to Cane Lane with ease, and he ends up beating the whole thing. As I said, once he beat Cane Lane, I was like, oh, he's got the rest of this. There's really no question that he can do the flying bar. And yeah, he did.
Yeah, but for me, highlight of the episode, I mean, Drew Drechsel, it was a culmination of so much training, and they went over how crazy his training regimen is. And not only that, but his crazy like sleep schedule, so therefore his body can acclimate to the time that he'd actually be running in Vegas. I mean, really, really smart. You can see the dedication that he has. And I'm sure if for him, it's like, well, next year I'm going to be a father, and I'm not going to have as much time to train. I mean, who knows? Maybe he does, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult when you have a baby at home. So I feel for him, it was like, all right, I got to give it my all. But at the same time, it wasn't this crazy hyper-focused thing. It was like, I'm going to take this all in and enjoy it. And in many ways, maybe that helped him out. And when he went and completed the ultimate cliffhanger, it was a huge moment. But really, as you alluded to before, Rich, when he completed the Cane Lane, it was so huge, and you knew you were seeing something special, and you could just see the joy on his face also. And yeah, easily for me, the athletically profound run of the night. Congratulations, Drew Drechsel. For me, even more than stage 4, because honestly,
yeah, yes, well deserved for sure. After him, another contender in the stealthiest ninja is Tyler Gillett, who made it to Cane Lane.
Okay, I got a lot to say. Where the heck has Tyler Gillett been this whole time? Like, he's been so incredibly good. And like, Kevin Carbone also. But Tyler Gillett in particular has been ghosted this entire season. And for me, he's one of the best stories, one of the most passionate ninjas. And look at how far he's gotten. He went so far onto this course. He's one of my top picks to win, like in the next 3 years, right up there with everybody else. Because when you really look at his ascension, how long has he competed on American Ninja Warrior? 2 years, 3 years max. Like he's very, very new, and he's making it to the end of stage 3. That's no small feat. And yeah. I'm going to keep an eye out for him, but I worry, like, is he going to be the new Nicholas Coleridge or something, where he's just all kinds of potential and talent in the world, but they just don't show him? Ugh. Man, yeah, Tyler Gillett, just, I can't believe it. Can you imagine being Tyler Gillett, having this incredible season, and none of it shown?
Yeah, I don't get it. It's really crazy to think that you could go that deep into stage 3 and get fast forwarded this season. Now, granted, this episode's pretty packed. There's not much they can do. They have to fast forward some people. So I get it. But man, Tyler's been fast forwarded like constantly this season.
Yeah, I wouldn't complain if like we got to see more of him like anywhere else in the rest of the season, but we haven't seen him at all, really.
No, it doesn't feel like it anyway. After him, we had Karsten Williams take the course, 7-time veteran. Very happy for him, and similar to Ryan Stratis, where it's like, this guy is very strong, and I really want to see what he can do in stage 3.
Yeah, that said, I had no idea he was a 7-year veteran, first of all. I was like, what? But also, like, he's got a very different... I guess he gives a unique perspective on Stage 3 simply because he's so different from the rest of the pack. You know, he's got a track background. He's very tall. But he's clearly in shape in all this. So you just don't know what to expect from somebody like him. Karsten Williams is somebody I would expect to, like, kill Stage 1, you know? I don't know what he's going to do on Stage 3. But I don't know. This was refreshing and quite surprising of how well he did. I was like, whoa!
Yeah, he was able to beat the ultimate cliffhanger. That seemed like it should be, you know, almost undoable at his size, but he was able to do it. Made it onto the pipe dream, and that's where we learned that wall tips back if you get on it at the wrong angle, which is kind of mean, really, because it's like it's not difficult enough. The wall's got to have this weird little quirk to it as well. He ended up sliding down the poles and wasn't able to save it in the end, going out on pipe dream, which is also a very mean name for Stage 3 obstacle.
I love it. Have all the mean names. That said, major props to him because I can't imagine that was easy for him.
Speaking of pipe dream, we actually had a fast forward of Tyler Smith next, who also went out on pipe dream.
Not touching it. All right.
Yeah, that really didn't come out how I intended, but we're going to leave it in there. And next up, we had Seth Rogers, Big Red, 19 years old.
Wow, this is amazing. I mean, this was another highlight for me. Like, just watching this segment, it really sunk in, like, this guy is so young. It's his first year. Oh my God, has he done a lot this season. Like, wow. Like, he's having a better season this season than freaking the kid did last season. And the kid got, like, all this attention. I'm not saying it wasn't deserved. But, like, when you really think about his ascension, like, he might have the most impressive debut in American Ninja Warrior history. I mean, what more can you do other than win the entire thing?
Yeah, I know Joe went to Stage 3 in his rookie year, but he did not get this far.
Oh, didn't know that either.
Yeah, like that was Joe's first season was season 5, and he went to Stage 3. Then he went to Stage 3 again. Then he went to Stage 3 again. Like,
oh yeah, good point. Yeah,
yeah. It's gonna be hard to top that. But I will say Seth went further in Stage 3 than Joe did. On actually most of his seasons, to be honest. He was struggling a little bit on Crazy Clocks, but he was able to make it. He did a 180 transfer on the cliffhanger, which was very cool. He almost fell on the dismount, but managed to save that by the skin of his teeth. See, he almost fell off, but he managed to save it. Manages to get through Pipe Dream, but really struggling, and came off on Cane Lane on the first hop over a ledge. He just completely spent by that point.
Yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth, but you know what? Screw it. Live your life. And, Big Red, you also get tied for the Athletically Profound Run of the Night. Why not? I know Daniel Gill completed Stage 3, but hey, to me, this was incredible. Debut, 19 years old, makes it to the end of Stage 3. And, I kind of feel bad because even going into Stage 3, I felt like I was overlooking him. I was like, yeah, I remember this kid. He's really good. But I didn't expect him to get this far. And I'm really happy. Like, this is somebody we're really going to have to keep an eye out for. And you just see his build and you're like, wow, 19 years old, this kid's only going to get so much better. And clearly he's been training for a long time. Just wow.
Yeah, I think he's, one of our categories is breakout performance. I think Seth's a pretty good shoe-in for it.
To say the least.
After him, we had Nate Burkhalter get fast-forwarded, who went out on Iron Summit. Casey Zuhaki fast-forwarded, who went out on Cliffhanger. And Kevin Carbone, who went out on the end of Cane Lane, which, strangely enough, we do always tend to group together Tyler Gillett and Kevin Carbone, and they end up going out in the same place.
They've had a very, very similar season this year. If you actually look at their stories, Very, very similar.
But our next runner to take the horse was Mathis Kid Owhadi, who was looking very good and efficient through Iron Summit, but ended up going out on the end of the cliffhanger. I really, really thought he was going to stage 4. I thought, with the amount of hype that he had, the year that he's had, a little surprised to see that. It was one of the ones that made me jump because I just didn't see it coming.
That said, it's not like he fell due to. I wasn't him, but it seemed like he fell more on the fact that he landed with both of his hands on top of each other rather than he was struggling with his grip strength. Now, that could be some of the parts, but for me, there's still the potential of like seeing just how far Mathis can get, and maybe we'll have a chance to see him again. Would he have been able to complete this course? Who knows? But like you, I thought he had a very, very good chance to do it.
All right. Next, we had a fast forward of Karsten Voiles, who ended up going out on Cane Lane before Adam Rayl took the course.
Yes. Now, for me, I was like, let's go. This is the guy. He's going to be competing against Drew Drechsel in the finals.
Yep. Totally thought that too. He scared me a little bit on the crazy clocks. He's just so quick. He was crushing the course. No issues on the cliffhanger. The hype was absolutely real. I was all in. And he got to the end of Cane Lane.
Oh my
Gets his hand on the flying bar for the dismount, but couldn't get his foot over and then fell. Like, that whole process took way too long and made my heart skip a beat like multiple times.
He broke my heart, man. Like, what happened? Like, you see everybody else, you grab on with both hands, and then they bring their legs up. I don't know what happened. It looked like he was struggling. Maybe he just had nothing left. That's just the worst way to go out. For me, I wasn't him. It looked like his grip strength was sapping, but for me, it was like watching somebody lose $1 million right in front of my face, because I feel pretty confident that this guy can do stage 4. I don't know if he can do it faster than Drew or anybody else, because screw that role. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like if he were to have made it to stage 4, he would have hit that buzzer. And, brutal, man. But, hey, this speaks once again to how impressive he is. And hopefully we'll see him next year.
Yeah.
And by next year, I mean, on stage 4.
Exactly. Yeah. He's one of those ones that it's just gonna be a matter of time. He's another Drew. He's another Joe. It's like they've got all the skills they need. They just got to put it together.
Yeah.
Next up, and I am like, how do I say this? I am angry and kind of laughing and just, I don't even know, this run. I just end up looking like a complete fool because Josh Salinas takes the course. And I was super excited. Like, I forgot he was here. And when he appeared at the end of the episode, I'm like, Iron Josh, this is amazing. And my wife had joined me at this point. I'm like, that dude there is really good. We've been praising him for a while. Watch this. He's going to do it. It's going to be great.
Oh, no.
I was really talking a big game. Like, his placement totally sucked me in. Like, completely got me. And not only that, with an audience, I just, totally, it didn't go quite how I thought it was going to go.
I feel like this was the run where the producers were just trolling us. Like, I feel like they were just looking directly at us, being like, oh, yeah, you have a problem with the last runner, huh? All right, let's just bring this in, just give you a little bit of hope, and nope.
Yeah, Josh ended up going out on grip and tip. Yeah, it happens. I'm surprised it didn't happen more this episode where people like, that was not an easy obstacle. You saw people struggle on it.
Yeah. Or Josh Salinas. I mean, he's made it to stage 3. All these competitors are incredible. I don't have much to say other than that.
Yeah. So that left Daniel Gill. And,
I wonder how well he's going to do. Not complaining, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's pretty obvious.
I didn't even mind it. I just kind of sat back and watched it. The only thing that killed it for me, like I said earlier, was knowing that now they're going to have to compete for that $1 million. Otherwise, I'd been like, great, let's watch Daniel do it, and let's see if they can both like I would have been excited.
I think this
His
was the
segment was
point when they
fine.
started really hyping up the like one they're gonna compete against each other for $1 million, and I started getting very angry.
Yeah.
But other than that, I was excited because for me, since I didn't know, yeah, there was a chance. Like I just didn't know. Maybe it's just gonna be Drew Drechsel, and that would be very weird for me because he completed stage 3 so early in the episode. So I figured there'd be another person, but if there, it would just make perfect sense if it was Daniel Gill, and I was really excited for him. Also, my fiance is a big fan of Daniel Gill, so she was super hyped for this.
Right. So yeah, Daniel hit no issues in the course. It's almost not even noteworthy. He did so well. It just, I also had zoned out a bit, I guess. Was there anything of interest? Because it looked like he just cruised through it.
He made it look really easy. Way more than even Drew Drechsel or anybody else. Like in the final, I forget. He like at some point, like where it's usually very difficult, he's just like hanging and like pumping his arms to the crowd. And then in the final portion with the bar hop, he was just doing it with a big old smile on his face. Yeah, I feel like just he's super technical, and this was a very technical course, and he showed why he's great.
All right, so that led us to stage 4, which we kind of already covered. Like, I don't know there's much more to say. Daniel was finished stage 3 1 second faster, so he got to pick who went first. He chose for Drew to go first.
Yes, and I appreciate the fact that they played by those rules. You know, it was based on that rather than, Drew Drechel's the bigger star, so blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And I think they did that last time, too, actually.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So Drew goes first. The hype was real, and he managed to do it with 2.54 seconds left, which is very impressive. It's close, but not like super close. Like he had a little buffer there.
Yeah, no, so happy for him. And then they keep him up there, which makes sense. But then like they show him like his hands in a his head buried in his hand. And I can just imagine what's going through his head, because it's like, you don't want to wish ill on the other person, but at the same time, like you're literally about to have a kid, like $1 million is on the line. This is your life. I mean, there's got to be so much going through his head. And I don't want to put words in his mouth. I don't know what he was thinking, but I'm just curious what he was thinking at that moment. Maybe he was just so overwhelmed by the fact that he was the third ever American Ninja Warrior. But man, I wish I can, get a kind of a picture of what he was thinking at that moment.
Yeah, I don't really want to know. I think I'll stick with the nice Disney version of like, I'm sure he was really rooting for Daniel and everything was nice and rosy.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's who knows? Who really does? Like, I think completing the course was the big thing for him anyway. As much as everybody could use the money, I think just was able to accomplish this thing that he's been dedicating his life to for years now. Like it was such an emotional moment for him to beat it all and to say that it's done. Like he has achieved that goal that he's not only been doing here in America, as you mentioned, he's been traveling the world to do this.
Yeah. I was telling my fiance, like, the $1 million is the icing on the cake, but what really is the big factor here is the fact that he finally gets that title. That's what really matters. And watch, we're completely wrong, and Drew's like, no, I wanted the money. Screw the title. But it's like...
Yeah, it was all about the money. I'm coming back for the money again. Daniel goes next and wasn't able to do it. Unfortunately, he did fall a little short. An excellent attempt, and kind of what I expected from most ninjas that attempted stage 4. I really don't understand how they're able to do it so quickly, but it's very impressive. Even though the obstacle itself is kind of...
Yeah, I think it's just a culmination of, hey, you made it that far. Most likely you're training for these things. And, I'm sure Daniel Gill also trains for a rope climb because it's just a rope climb. But to me, it could be a million things, not to mention he just went through this daunting, crazy stage 3. So, I mean, it could be a variety of things. And he got very close. Props to Daniel Gill. Yeah, and more importantly for me, I'm really happy that Daniel Gill had such an amazing attitude the entire time, and it was such a beautiful moment, and I'm glad that it wasn't hampered by some dumb arbitrary rule. and that it was just a genuine feel-good moment, and everybody was just so happy. I feel like I was kind of like negative this entire podcast on that ruling, but genuinely, I'm really, really happy for everything that happened. And it was kind of like a feel-good season in a way. A lot of people got further than they ever have, and it like a lot of their dreams were fulfilled. Like, I don't want to say fulfilled because, like, hey, probably say winning the whole thing's there, but like making a Siege 3 is such a big moment in people's lives. In particular, people that have dedicated their entire life to this. So, just in general, I was happy for everyone involved. I can't even imagine the feeling there, like the emotions. It was probably such a beautiful moment. So, dude, we got a new American Ninja Warrior. Drew Drechsel is most likely going to be like the big face of the series for a while. What are your thoughts? I feel like, yeah. What are your thoughts?
I think Drew's kind of been that for a couple of years, and it just cements it, right? And it also puts him legitimately in the running for being, at least on the American show, as the greatest of all time, right? Like, he's just...
Oh, come on. He's the GOAT. Like,
yeah.
Who's even gonna, like, come close?
Well, we've had other winners.
And Isaac Caldiero would, like, be like, are you kidding me? It's Drew Drechsel.
Right.
Like,
no, I get it. But it was hard. Like, when we tried to do that before, we looked at it, it's difficult to say that someone who hasn't beaten the whole thing is better than people that had. So, but now that's not even in contention.
Exactly. So it's like, it has to be Drew Drechsel. But not only that, just I'm really happy for him. He was recently on Ellen, and for somebody that dedicates so much to the sport and like his entire life is ninja, I'm happy for him to like see him like on the buses, on whatever, where Isaac Caldiero used to be. And I'm not saying Isaac, I don't want him gone or whatever, but I'm just saying like it makes sense for Drew Drechsel to also be up there. And, also Jesse Graff, like you were saying, the face of it. I feel like Jesse Graff was for a long time, and I hope she still is because she's amazing. But I'm just saying, Drew Drechsel, really good, I guess, representative of America for an American Ninja Warrior for a long time. And dude, like I'm so psyched to see him on Sasuke now. Can you imagine if he does the dream year, wins American Ninja Warrior and Sasuke?
Yeah. So before we wrap it up, Bijan, are there any 5-star reviews this week?
Why, yes, we do, Rich. From Will Harry 123, which is an amazing name. I love the energy and enthusiasm you guys bring to each and every episode of the podcast. It's definitely one of my favorite podcasts to listen to, and I really appreciate how evident it is that you guys, too, love this show. Amazing, amazing show! Thank you for all your hard work. Yes! I agree, Will Harry. You're the best. We are the best. Everybody's the best. American Ninja Warrior. Represent, son. That said, Will Harry 123, you are the 5-star review of the week. Woo!
All right. Thank you very much. So if you'd like to reach out to us, you can reach me as rich@ninjapodcast.com. I am at Ninja Podcast on both Instagram and Twitter. And Bijan, how can they reach you?
Well, before they can reach me, Rich, are we going to have polls like fan votes again this year? Voters' choice, so to speak.
We will, and we will announce how to vote for those next week. The time frame for voting will be fairly short, so it's actually a good idea to follow us on Twitter and Instagram just to keep up with where everything's at and to make sure that you have a chance to get your vote heard.
Yes, and once again, where will they want to go in terms of Twitter for that, Rich?
At Ninja Podcast.
Yes, at Ninja Podcast. And also, you can reach me at Bijan151 at Instagram and Twitter, and that's where you're going to get that information also, in a much less fancier version because I'm probably just going to retweet whatever Rich sends.
All right, thank you all so much for listening, and have a wonderful week.
Peace, love, and deuces, y'all. And congratulations, Drew! Yes! We have an American Ninja Warrior! Yes! My throat is gone. Oh my gosh.